Hi there, I'm Bonnie Serratore with Spiritual Acceleration, and I want to talk about cords, especially cording into the third eye, okay, the clairvoyant energy center. So cords, let me talk a little bit about cords. Cords are happening because we have things that we want. We want to know things. We want to have things for our own personal desires. Okay. So when we're not able to just clearly ask for what we're wanting, that emotional feeling, that emotional energy that we experience of a desire, a need, or a want, and that it's a feeling. Okay, we have a feeling inside. I want this, I would like this, or curious about this, but we don't feel comfortable, or we don't feel safe, or for whatever reasons we don't feel we can ask for what we want. We sing chords. Now, it doesn't mean that you're totally aware that you're doing that. Most people have no clue that they're actually sending chords out. Okay, most people are just thinking, wow, I'd like to know what she sees, or how does she get her information, or anything to do with that third eye. The desire to understand something, or to perceive something, or to get a sense of, like when we think about clairvoyance, or because that's that third eye, a lot of people with the clairvoyant abilities, and people that don't have those kinds of abilities, they don't have the energy or the clairvoyant abilities, they might want to get a sense of what somebody who is clairvoyant, how's that working? What kinds of things are they seeing? So there's a curiosity. Okay. Again, because we have a curiosity doesn't mean it's bad. There's nothing wrong with our curiosities. But what happens though is, in that feeling where we really want to know something, like for example, we can use me because I got, a lot of clairvoyant abilities, and a lot of people want to know how I do what I do. What do I see? You know what I mean? It's like there's a big curiosity around how am I getting my information? And, just there's things that are unanswered that people don't know. So, someone could very easily want to cord in to try and get a sense of, what is Bonnie doing? What is she seeing? How is she doing it? That kind of thing. But basically, again, it's really coming from that emotional place. For example, somebody wants to, okay, so let's just say I'm getting information, I'm doing some reading, I'm getting, you know, given someone some images that I'm seeing, or maybe they're wondering why they don't have money, or maybe they want relationship, or maybe they, want to, but health issues, or maybe they're feeling like they're not worth something. So I might be given a bunch of information, and that feeling, that desire, that curiosity, you're going to feel it come from the belly area. Okay, you'll feel that emotion coming from the lower chakras, the lower centers in the body. But that energy is like that curiosity, because people, maybe they're afraid to ask. Maybe they, have shame around their thoughts or questions or needs or wants. There's all kinds of reasons why we don't ask clearly for what we're desiring. So someone can have that really deep desire to know something, but they're not going to ask. So in that emotion, that curiosity, there's a feeling that happens, okay? And when we pay attention to that feeling, we can actually feel the sensation of a cord actually reaching out. Once you start waking up to what it feels like, just for you to send your cords out, once you get a feel for that and you start paying attention, you're going to know when you're sending a cord out. Okay. So there's an actual sensation in that emotion. Okay. Coming back to someone wants to get a sense of, what's Bonnie seeing. So there's a feeling like, like it has a, I want to know something, but I'm not going to ask. Okay, I'm not going to ask. But that feeling, if you start paying attention, you'll feel this energy frequency, usually in those lower centers, and like that first, second chakra, maybe even third. And it's a feeling where that emotion has a desire, a want, and a need. And then there's a belief that, oh, don't be asking. Okay, now remember, you're going to have places where you don't feel you have a right to ask something. You're going to feel like maybe you shouldn't ask something. Or, when we have beliefs around that we're not enough, or we're not worthy, or we're not loved, or we don't matter, we don't belong here, which most of humanity has some degree of that angst in them, then you're not going to feel free to say, hey, Bonnie, I'm curious. I just want to know, how are you doing this? What are you looking at? How, whatever. So, you're free to express, you're free to ask. But when you're not free to ask, this is when we do the courting thing. So if someone feels that desire, wants to know something, they can't ask for whatever reason, it's the wounding, okay? So then you're going to feel that emotional desire. I want to know, curious. And sometimes too, we don't want anybody to know what we're wanting. Like it's beyond even the feeling like the emotional angst within that we don't have a right or we're not enough, all of that. But even more than that, if we actually feel like we shouldn't be doing, we shouldn't be wanting to know, it's like, I don't want anybody to know that I'm looking to know something. I want answers, but I don't want anybody to know what I'm doing. That's when we cord in from behind, okay? The sneaky, devious little cords that come in from behind. That way it feels like no one's going to know that we're wanting something. So again, it comes from that emotional place. We're going to feel an emotion. We're going to have a desire. Now we can, the cords will come from the body and they'll go straight shooting into that, the third eye, the clairvoyant chakra, basically. And the cords going in there have to do with, like what I was saying. So when someone cords into someone else's third eye, they want to know what they're seeing. What are you seeing? What are you looking at? I want to know what you know, because think about this. When you think about clairvoyant, seriously, when you think about clairvoyant, when we think just of like like people who are psychic and they use their abilities. So clairvoyant is like one of the main ways in which people gets information. Now think about this. We can ask for anything about someone's life, anything. Okay, we can go into your past lives and see your traumas and your shocks. We can see things that you have done, the atrocities you have done, the victimizations, the atrocities that have happened to you. Okay, when you think about clairvoyant, nothing's off the table. You know, everything's available. Okay, so we can go to the astral planes. We can go into other time-space dimensions, universe, galaxies, realities, okay? We have that ability to use that clairvoyant sight to look into anything, okay? Some of us have the ability to look into the future, okay? The past is easy. Almost any psychic can go into your past. They can go into your past lives. That's easy. Not everyone can actually go into the future, okay? So when you think about like a clairvoyant and all that they can see and sense and actually discover and know about you, there might be like a little bit of fear, anxiety, like what are they going to find? What are they going to see that I don't know? Okay. So think about that. Think about anything and everything that a psychic can look at and answer, look into inside of you, okay, or anybody else. So people who, want to understand you or want to get a sense of or have a curiosity, they're going to send cords, okay, cords right into that third eye. Okay, they want to know. Okay, and especially like people want to know things like if you're reading them, giving them some information, sometimes people want to know like where are you getting this? How are you getting this information? And then also people can also have a desire like I don't want you to know. I don't want you to see certain things because you can be having past experiences in this lifetime where you have guilt or regret or you feel like you've done something wrong, got shame around something. You're not going to want someone to know. Okay, so here's another thing that people actually can do in their courting, especially into the third eye, is they want to stop you, block you from seeing, sensing, knowing what they don't want you to know. Okay, so think about that. If you have a feeling like you're sitting in front of some psychic and they're starting to, give you a bunch of information and you have a sense of where this is going and you don't want to go there, okay, you don't want them to go there, you don't want them to see, you don't want them to know. Literally you can send this energy like the cord. It's a desire again. It's that feeling where, I don't want you to see that. I don't want you to know that. Okay. So in that cording, you can literally send a frequency through that cord trying to block, like put a blinder on, some kind of blockage, some kind of dark energy, something that doesn't allow the psychic to actually clearly get visuals of what they're looking at. Okay, so you can actually do that. You can block them. You can block their sight. Okay, so people that are, wanting to hide or are afraid of being revealed or exposed because they've already got shame, they've already got places where they feel like they're not okay, and we don't want to be judged anymore. We don't want to be humiliated and shamed anymore. Got enough of that. We have these beliefs that certain things are going to be, thought of as bad, negative. Okay, so we're going to not want that. Okay, and this can happen even like people may not even understand what they're doing, but it's that feeling, it's that emotion, it's that desire from within. Okay. Oh, I don't want, oh, she's starting to look at, oh, what I did when I was over in Tahoe with, when we were staying at a hotel. Uh-oh, there's something really intense happened. She's seeing it. Uh-oh, block it, block it. Stop it. Don't let her see. Okay. So cords right in, blind that spot. Oh, all of a sudden she can't, all of a sudden it went away. Can't see it, can't find it. Okay. People do that. Okay, so the cords cording in, again, coming from an emotion, a desire, where we don't want people to know what we're wanting. And even people that, seemingly are open and don't seem to care about, whatever you're finding, great, bring it on. I want to know. And there can still be that curiosity, like curious, okay? So where's she getting that info? How's she getting? I want to know how she does that. I want to be like that. Okay, that's another thing too, is when people want to be like you, like let's say you're a clairvoyant and you get great information and you're shocking people with everything that you're getting. People want to know and they're going to want to be like you. That's another thing. When we feel like we're not enough, or when we feel like, there's something wrong with us, or we don't have as much opportunities as someone else, poor me, or we feel like we're victimized, then we're going to want to have what other people have. This is a major way and reason why people cord in is because they think they want what you have because it seems as though you have more or you have better. Okay, you get what you want, and just that whole feeling. Not again, it's all that emotional energy, emotional angst that we have that seemingly makes it seem as though someone has more than we do. I mean, in some ways, a lot of people have more than others, clearly, okay? But it's the emotion. Again, it's always the emotion. It's the emotion that causes us to cord in. Now, for people who aren't even aware that they're cording, they're kind of, they're just being who they are. They just have needs and wants and desires, and they want to know what that psychic is knowing, or anybody. It doesn't necessarily have to be a psychic. It can just be someone who has great sense of things, who sees things, and we want that. And then there's jealousies and envies, and and the poor me's and all kinds of reasons why we cord in. So again, if people don't want people to know, like what they're thinking, feeling, and there's that devious coming in from behind. Okay, but again, I just want to be really clear, like that whole thing when you are cording in, and like if you didn't know that you were sending cords out, you might want to wake up to it, okay? Because if you're having a desire to know something that somebody else knows, especially when we're dealing with the third eye, you again paying attention to your own body, you're going to feel a sensation. It's like a desire to know. But rather than coming from like the mind desire, like if you start paying attention, you'll start to notice that you have you can feel energy coming from different places in your body. Okay, so you can feel when thoughts, when the mind is wondering, curious, but you can also feel when you're sending out cords because there's an emotion and you can feel it, the sensations in the lower parts of your body. Okay, so what's happening is you got this desire, you're sending a cord out, but if you start paying attention, you'll feel that. You'll feel the energies coming from the lower body, lower belly areas, below the navel, and you have a desire, want, need, and you can feel that. Then you can pull the cord back, okay? Because the truth is, we don't want to be cording into one another. It's not appropriate. The only appropriate cording really is in the heart. And when children are little, up until about 5 years old, they're corded into their mother and into their parents. And that's natural, normal, and healthy, okay? But as they start to get closer to 5 years old, that cord starts to disintegrate because they're no longer in that place where there's that whole survival thing where they need their parents, okay? So the cording into that third eye is curiosity. I want to know what you know. I want to see what you see. And I'm jealous of you. Okay. And people can send out cords that are hateful, that want to cause harm to people, want to whack you. Okay. You probably do that. If you have a situation where you get mad at somebody, you get angry with somebody, you get frustrated with somebody, and you want to hurt them. Okay. People do this all the time. Anytime people are jealous or envious, they want to hurt people, or you think someone's hurt you, you want to hurt them. Okay. So, you can send out unknowingly. Some people, no, I'll get to the intention in a moment, but right now, most people don't know they're doing it. They're just having this feeling like, I don't like you. I want to stop you. I want to block you. I want to traumatize you. I want to shut you down. I want to, just keep you from doing what you're doing. Okay. So people can send out cords that literally whack people. It's like it hits them in their certain chakras, third eye, and trying to whack them, stop them. Okay, so there's intentional things that people do wanting to hurt people. Okay, now people that understand cording and know what they're doing. Now these people are a little bit dangerous because they're intentionally, with knowingly sending cords out to do different things. Okay, so if I'm knowingly wanting to know something in your third eye, if I send a cord out and plug into your third eye, I can try to pull your energy, pull your clairvoyant frequency towards me. Okay, so there's lots of things people can do that they do, knowing that they are cording in. Okay, so when they send that cord out, and they're sending it right to that third eye intentionally. It's like I want to intentionally go in, and sometimes too, with cording, if you cord into somebody, it's actually easier to come into their energy field as though you're looking through their third eye. People probably didn't understand that one. That's kind of a trippy one, but for example, let's just say someone wants to, see what someone's seeing. They know that they're sending a cord. They're using that cord as they hook in. They use that cord to take their awareness and go right in to that third eye to try to look out and try to get a sense of and see what that psychic is seeing, sensing. Okay, so people that know that they send cords out, most people that are doing that are doing it because they're hiding something. They don't want you to know. Okay, there's that place where this is not right. This is wrong. I know I'm doing wrong, but I want to know anyway. Okay, so people don't intentionally send cords unless there's something going on where they're wanting something, but they know this is not a right thing to do. Okay, so intentionally cording in is usually to cause harm, to interfere, to block, to manipulate, to control. Okay, so that happens all the time. People try to control, manipulate, so they send cords. There's a difference between knowing what you're doing and intentionally doing that as opposed to not knowing that you're doing that. Okay, so again, I just want to make it clear, when you have desires and wants and needs that you don't feel that you can ask clearly, you will send cords. Okay, now others know they are courting, they are intentionally courting, they know exactly what they are doing, and they want to hook in, they want what they want. Okay, so they're not going to be telling you straight up that that's what they're doing, but they know they're doing it. Okay, so that's like devious, that's like ill will, bad intentions, negative intentions, wanting to cause harm, wanting to hurt. This happens all the time. Okay, but most people are actually innocent of their courting because they don't know consciously that they're courting. Okay, but what I want to do is bring awareness to you that if you want to understand and discover if you are courting into anyone, you want to know the signs, you want to know the feelings, the sensations that I described, okay? It's going to come from that emotional place, coming from the lower part of the body rather than the mind. And when you start understanding that, ooh, I could be sending a cord out. I don't want to do that. I'm not doing that. So what you do is you pull your energy back, okay? There's nothing wrong with being curious at all, okay? People are curious all the time. People want to know things, okay? There's nothing wrong with your curiosity or just desire to know. So when you're having a thought, like for example, Oh yeah, I want to know what that psychic is seeing. I want to understand how they're getting, and you can feel your energy. You feel your from that lower parts coming out. You feel an energy moving towards that person. You can feel that, oh, that's a cord. You can pull it back in. Just pull it right back in. See, it's like this. Think about this. When you're looking at something and you have a desire for that, okay, you're energetically, you lean out of your body, you start to move towards that energy, okay? So you are sitting in your body and you have a desire and you start to lean out, okay? So you can feel it, you can feel the sensations, you can feel it in your own body. You literally are leaning out of your body with an emotional frequency, emotional desire, and that emotion is moving towards the subject, okay, whatever that is. So once you start understanding and realizing your own energy, you start playing with your desires, your intentions, and paying attention to your own energy, you will feel when you're leaning out of your body. Okay, those leaning out feelings, sensations. This is where you potentially can start sending cords to someone else. Okay, so it's that, the feeling like, rather than just staying right here behind your eyes and being right, being staying right here, we want to know something. So our energy literally leans towards somebody. You can feel it when you can feel it. It's like an energy, someone's like pushing on you energetically. They might be standing 5 feet away, but all of a sudden you're feeling like this, you feel them come into your space. Okay. So it's that kind of energy, that kind of emotion that that we send out, that we send cords. Okay, so cording into that third eye is clearly wanting to know things, see things, and block things, like I was saying. So there's all kinds of different reasons why we cord into that third eye. And ultimately, again, people, we really do not want to be sending cords out. If we want to know something, then start asking clearly, or at the very least, paying attention to your own self and knowing and feeling and sensing when you are leaning out, moving towards somebody else. Okay. And it's true for all cords. I'm not just talking the third eye, I'm talking all cording. It'll be the same. You're going to have an emotional desire, emotional sensation. If you pay attention, you'll start to feel your energy moving towards, leaning out towards the subject. And when you find yourself doing that, pull it back in, not doing that, not playing that dance. Okay. It's better to keep your energy in your own self. And then also feeling cords coming into you. Like, for example, if you are clairvoyant, okay, or someone who, it happens a lot, like people have, especially when you're younger and you really start playing with your abilities and you're hanging out with people who asking you a bunch of questions like, what do you see? Tell me about me, whatever. And so you can feel people cording into you. So remember too that on some level, your door's still open. You haven't stop the agreements for people courting into you. So you may want to be aware of that, and in that kind of agreement where you've allowed people to court in. That's that energy dance that we've done with each other for eons of time. And now that we're moving into the new paradigm and shifts are happening, the old ways are done, old paradigm's over. That was an old behavior, old way of doing, old way of behaving. Okay, so now, no, I'm done. No more. I'm releasing no one gets to court into me. I am done. Okay. But make sure you unravel from your subconscious, your agreements and contracts, where on some level you have allowed it. You have said yes to it. It's been a fun game we've been doing. Okay. Get your agreements done. And then, make sure that when you feel people moving towards you, you make sure you just say no. Okay. Because you can feel the energy, like the curiosity. Remember, it's an emotion, people. We are all very psychically and intuitively attuned to ourselves. We feel things all the time. We just don't pay attention. So when we feel some energy coming into our space, we can be saying, no, no, no. Okay. Yeah, so it just blocks it, stops it, slams it right back where it came from. Okay, you have all of these abilities. You can do all of that. Okay, but remember, we're doing the courting with each other, and we've been doing it a long time, and now we want to end it. So you don't want cords coming in, but you can feel them. If you're paying attention, you're not always going to feel them, but remember there's an emotion. And if you start to feel sensations, all of a sudden you're starting to think of somebody, there's a good possibility that the reason you're thinking about them is because they are intentionally thinking of you, wanting something from you, wanting to know something from you. So they're sending their little cords out. Okay, so courting one another, inappropriate, but it's what we do. And, it's time to wake up to that. Do your part, pay attention, be responsible and accountable for your own actions, for what you're doing, how you affect people, and just bring it back home. Okay, bring it home to you, right? Okay, so you are your own temple, they're their own temple. You're not really going to get somebody's information by courting into them, but it's just that way in which we are hiding our desires, feeling like shouldn't be asking, shouldn't want whatever beliefs we got running. But, it's time for clarity, it's time for purity, it's time for honesty, it's time for being authentically real without courting into one another. Okay, so we do have an awesome chakra series coming up where we will be clearing out all the, energy chakras, energy centers, and cords is one of those things that's going to be addressed. Okay, so we want to make sure we stop the cording ourselves as well as ending the cording for coming from other people to us, and just have, pure energy, pure, clear energy. So chakras clearing out, cording clearing out. Yeah, so being accountable again. So have fun with it, pay attention to yourself, and discover how you are cording into others. And then also, as you really start paying attention, you'll feel those subtle little cords coming at you.